Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Western Legends Blood Money. Western Legends Blood Money is brought to you by Colossal Games. It's for 2 to 6 players, ages 14 and up, and games range anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. Western Legends is an open-world, sandbox tabletop adventure set in the American Wild West. Players assume the roles of historical figures of the era, earning their legendary status in a variety of ways: gamble, drive cattle, prospect for gold, rob the banks, fight bandits, pursue stories, become an outlaw, or keep the peace. The possibilities are darn near endless. The original Western Legends is now 2 years old. The first expansion was Ante Up, and now, with its third and final installment, we have Blood Money. Being a Western legend is not for the faint of heart. You have faced countless dangers in the Wild West and have overcome challenges from your rivals to become a true legend. It is time for one last ride, full of dangerous risks and alluring rewards. There will be blood, that much is certain. But in the Old West, that means fame and money, blood money. Risk it all and write the final chapter in your Western legend. So, Blood Money not only expands on existing content and introduces new gameplay elements of its own, but it enhances the experience in unique ways, introducing new characters, items, and a number of other features. Blood Money raises the stakes in your games of Western Legends. Alright folks, first and foremost, it's important to note that I did not get a full playthrough with this expansion, but I did do enough to get a real flavor for it. And I have to say, I'm pretty excited to what they packed into this box. All right, so let's dive in and take a closer look at what's new here. First off, we have new injury cards, yes. And they are semi-permanent negatives that you must deal with throughout the game. They can also restrict your ability to perform basic actions and add to the risk of being in fights. As an example, we have Blinded. As you can imagine, that's going to really restrict you. You must choose a random poker card to play in fights against NPCs. All kinds of neat things with these different injury cards for sure. Now let's take a look at the new risk die. So once during each of your turns, you can choose to roll the risk die to gain an advantage. However, you might gain wounds instead when you do so, but the small benefits gained through rolling the risk die can let you pull off some truly amazing legendary turns. Now there's also a new traveling trader in this expansion, which will introduce new and useful standard items along with powerful legendary items and a new way to acquire both. And the traveling trader will move on to a new region after every sale. He is pretty wily after all. And there are now deeds in the game. Yes, you get to own property. So you can purchase these deeds to some of your favorite locations because, after all, ownership does have its privileges. So taking a closer look at one of these deeds, this is the Buzzard Gulch Saloon. You're going to pay 80 for it, but at the end of the game, it's also going to give you benefits based on how many saloons you own. So these deeds are really a nice addition to this expansion for sure. And then, what I might be most excited about is the legendary story system. It's actually pretty unique, with new narratives, ongoing game effects, and greater risks, and far more impressive rewards, which then adds to the storyboard where you accumulate and track story points to earn further rewards. And then reading through them, there's really some interesting story bits here, and I can't wait to dive into it further. And of course, having story elements being a big part of a sandbox style game, for me anyway, is simply fantastic. And then finally, let's take a look at the new characters, which means new Western Legends show up. Some of the wildest characters yet. You've got soldiers, bounty hunters, gamblers, gunfighters, a lovable con artist, well of course there is, a warrior priestess, and even an infamous saloon owner. Alright, so those are the highlights folks, and if you're a fan of Western Legends, you really should give this final installment a closer look. Alright folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. so keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now with that said, I have to admit that I was already a huge fan of this game. So I had a blast with this expansion and all the new bits and everything you could add into it. And in general, sandbox games work really well for me. Super thematic, super story driven. Those are the things I look for. Even slipping into voices when you play games like this. Tons of fun. But ultimately, folks, if this looks like something, an expansion that might be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.